I wanted to go for this blog earlier, to be honest, but I had my son all weekend, so I'm going to crack a Pepsi now, and we'll go through it together. And I'll tell you guys what I think anyway, although I don't know if there's not a poll yet, so I can give you guys my feedback and the right opinion that most content creators won't give you before the poll comes out. Do I need to read this, this introduction, a note from the team? Looks like you've already got a lot to say about our initial proposal. First of all, we'd like to say thank you to everybody who's taken the time so far to leave constructive feedback for us. It's clear at the moment that opinion is pretty divided, with different players and player groups ultimately wanting different things from Ruinous powers. Well, I know a lot of people want, basically a help me kill Tecton prayer, which everyone's like, yeah, let's get one that increases defense of an enemy while I'm attacking it. Fuck you. We'll be taking some time to collate. I don't know what that means. Read over and think about the feedback you submitted so far. All you need to do, JX, is listen to me. Watch this video, this reaction, and all your problems will be solved. Maybe. Not likely. Okay, maybe not, because I've got to think about it now. I'm not a very smart person, but I'm smarter than a lot of people out there, so listen to me. We'll be back next week with an adjusted approach to help us zero in on your feedback. Cool, so we can go through this again next week. But the most epic Grandmaster quest to date, Desert Treasure 2, is coming. Apparently, this is on the same scale as a Wild Gothic Sleeps or in RS3, which is meant to be like the S tier big dick quest that everyone loves. I believe it's Wild Gothic Sleeps. So expect this to be the next Dragon Slayer 2, but better, bigger and better than that quest. That's a good quest. Brief history lesson? Nah. All right, community suggestion summary. Okay, since we put out our rewards greenlight blog, you've come out in spades with all kinds of creative ideas for what the Ruinous powers might look like, which is super handy because everybody we reached out for information on what they actually look like has ghosted us. Everybody we reached out for information on what they actually look like has ghosted us. Interesting. Okay. The hair gives me copper and zinc. This is 18 plus intelligence arrow. Yes. Okay. Can you pop a Fortnite dance mid-vid? If you get a plate body and send me $5,000 American on PayPal, yes. We've had an absolute blast reading through the suggestions and combing at 500, actually, not 5,000. I'll do a cheat for you. So we had an absolute blast reading through the suggestions and combing through hundreds of potential prayers and wanted to take a moment to talk through some of the most common themes. So I have a problem with this off the bat. I had the same concern with this approach as with the skill approach for the new skill. I'm not sure if the best thing to do is to dive into community, the community sourcing. On one hand, I think it's good because it keeps the community involved, but there's a lot of donkeys in the community. It's really hard, man. Some of these skill ideas are terrible. And a lot of the prayer ideas, we went through the prayers not long ago. I've got a video on my channel for those who haven't seen it. A lot of those prayers are just people coping. They want a prayer book to be molded around their playstyle. They don't care about the longevity of the game, the health of the game, the future of the game, how it should work. They just want something that fixes their problem with the game because they're either too bad to fix it themselves, the mechanic hasn't been adjusted yet, or they're just not rich enough in game. You know? It's really hard. Having polls be the only way content comes out is bad for the game. Yes, I believe so too. Especially this late into the game now. But at the same time, the old school RuneScape team are really good. I trust them with this game. They do such a good job. They've not put out a single bad update, in my opinion, that I've wanted rolled back. I don't think we'll ever get another EOC or another game-killing update from these guys. We won't. So it really depends how hard they dive into what player feedback they go with the prayers here, and we're about to find out because we have gone through a lot of the prayer stuff already. Why is the new prayers not an upgrade to what we have now with the requirements? Just need to unlock it. See, that's not a bad alternative, but that's also kind of safe. Bad updates, no useless updates, yes. Yeah, but you're always going to have a couple of I don't know what the word is. You're going to have a couple of goose eggs in there, you know? There's some absolute useless updates, for sure. But there's never been an update that I've gone, I don't want this in the game. This needs to be reversed, or this has killed the game for me. Now, there's also people that go, it's not old school. For the people that think it's not old school anymore, fuck you. You're an idiot. Anyways, back to the blog. Protection prayers. To the surprise of absolutely nobody, All of you were head over heels for overheads and protection that provide. These popped up in some form in near enough every full book. Yep. Book suggestions, sorry. And seen primarily to take the approach of reducing damage by somewhere in the region of 80 to 90%, which is in line with the example we gave in our initial mention of Ruinous powers. Okay. Some of you got a little more creative, including things like 100% protection with a percent of the mitigated damage being taken as prayer points, hybrid protection, protect from magic and prayer, magic and range, reduced effectiveness, timed immunity overheads that you'd flick off a tick or two to mitigate any damage, but with its own cooldown, or even protection that scales with your defensive bonuses. So, let me tell you the problem with this part. Okay? If you have a overhead prayers, people like, oh, have multiple overhead prayers like Cowfight Queen. If you can pray mage and range at the same time with a 90%, even 80% damage reduction, Jad's max hit, I think at 90%, Jad's max hit becomes like 19. No, 80% his max hit becomes 19, right? Through prayer. The fight case completely gone. Even the Inferno. Like a no pillar Inferno becomes like the easiest thing people can do. 14, there you go. This idea makes no pillar Inferno possible for anyone, because you can just pray mage and range the whole time, kill the melee, and you're just tanking shit, because you can just wear Missouri and tank the mage all day. You know, you can put that prayer on and get to your safe spot, and you're good. You only have to worry about Zuck. Even then, you could just tank Zuck the whole time, because the Major Ranger behind you, the Major Ranger behind you aren't doing shit. They could just disable those prayers in the Inferno, though, surely. Then what is the point? How you doing, by the way, Tyson? Good to see you here. What would be the point? That'd be like them giving us summoning, and then you get all the summoning monsters, but you can't use them in the Inferno. What about raids? You can't use them in raids. Well, then, like, what's the fucking point in having them if you can't use them in in-game content? Most of the players that are, like, a lot of players aren't going to end up using the spellbook. It'll just kill it. 2-star prayers only be 50%. See, that would make more sense, being a 50% damage reduction. It still made Jad way too easy, but that could definitely make a lot more sense. I think the whole idea is stupid. I think they should just have single overheads, and like the normal prayer book, they should bring them straight over. And then depending on how strong these new prayers are, will determine whether they become a 70% or 80% reduction as a soul. So you just have mage, range, and melee. That's it. And then depending on how strong the other prayers are around it, could determine whether they stay at 100% or they drop to 80 or 90. Because if you don't have overhead prayers, you're not using the prayer book. Because you need overhead prayers for Olm. If you don't have overhead prayers in Olm, you're dying. If you don't have overhead prayers in Theatre of Blood, you're dying. If you don't have overhead prayers in TOA, Baba is going to ragdoll you like you're just a small infant child fucking registering yourself at the church, and your parents walked out the room for 20 minutes, the Pope's looking at you, licking his fucking lips. You are not getting out of that fucking raid. So you need to have overhead protection prayers. Depending on how strong the rest of the prayers are, depends on whether they stay at 100% or they adjust. I don't think we need to go too deeply into it, to be honest. It just needs to be balanced to the point that we don't stop using the original prayer book. That's the fact, really. Rest in peace, Cardinal Pell, who's a pedophile. Rico, there's something we've been toying around with a little, and we're excited to see many of you toying around with too. So a handful of approaches and how to tackle these, but the general idea of using your prayer to somehow buff recoil or reflected damage seems to be a popular one. Yeah, people want to buff their venge, don't they? Many of you tried honing on the high risk, high reward elements of your proposals. So approaches as simple as turn prayer on, recoil more damage, overheads that increase your recoil damage. In some cases, increase the damage you take, or even ongoing thorns, okay? Effects, overheads, where any target who damages you is returned a percent of damage as long as the prayer is enabled. That could make things really interesting in our speedruns and stuff. Sort of risky playstyles seem to excite many of you, especially those looking forward to stepping up their abilities. Well-timed and well-executed vengeance casts, as opposed to a more passive approach than something like Thralls provide. This is just all the people in LMS who are like, I'm going to use Venge because it's way smarter to not have 3 attack styles in a fight. 2 attack styles is way better. Oh, I can't melee him because he's frozen me and I'm just sitting here venging. If only I could do something about that. Damage prayers. No playbook is complete about the kind of damage buffs. Yep. as for exactly what those buffs look like, there are too many different approaches to properly capture and do justice in this short segment. So, my idea would be like if you had something better than Piety, like if you had something twice as good as Piety, it was literally like a 40%, let's say 30% attack, 30% strength and 30% defense. Like all of them were up to 30% buff, but your overhead prayers were 80% protection or 85% protection. Then it might be worth using that in some content. Maybe not so much Cox, unless you were in a group, or maybe if you were just soloing because you can reduce the amount of damage you take. But in somewhere like Tob, where a lot of the damage can be mitigated or avoided, you could take that extra damage at Verzic to get that extra damage out. So it would depend. Prey is stronger than Rigor, Piety, and Augury should have a very big unlock requirement. Yes. And I think if they're going to be in the new spellbook, then the overhead should be not as reliable, because otherwise you'll never use the normal spellbook again, ever. Those 3 prayers will cancel it out, 100%. That's where it all lies. So fuck all this niche shit about run energy and recoil and venge. The main thing you need to look at is these 6 prayers. There are 6 prayers people give shit. I mean, you've got Smite, Retribution, Redemption, and Protector Item and stuff. Those are cool. But the 6 big prayers that everyone uses is Overheads, Piety, Rigor, and Augury. And if a new prayer book is going to have anything like these that are stronger than these, then these have to be weaker. Otherwise, why the fuck would you use this spellbook unless you're in the Wilderness to protect item? You would never go back to the spellbook because you could take 0 damage in PVM and deal a lot of damage PvP. No one cares. Like, Venging's not going to do fucking shit for you half the time. How often are you Venging that's not PvP? What are you Venging these days? Run energy? You've got stamina potions. You don't need that shit. Come on. Tell me I'm wrong, and then we can have a discussion about it. But I feel like that is the direction that needs to be taken here. It simply needs to, if you're going to go purely combat, it needs to either be fucking good. That's your high risk, high reward. It needs to be good, but you take more damage, or fuck, I don't know. Could be anything else really. Run energy. Something else that we're suggesting time and time were prayers that affect run energy in some way. Some of you tackle this by wanting to reduce drain rate, others by draining prayer instead of energy while running. Having an energy regen scale with prayer bonus. Loads of interesting and innovative approaches. In fact, we have a proposal for an energy affecting prayer that came directly from the community suggestion. I mean, in my opinion, you could just do this. Where is it? You could invest in one of these. They're called stamina potions. They're quite good, actually. And what they do is that they're actually useful in a lot of activities that require a lot of running. They're pretty good. They're not too difficult to make. They're actually reasonably cheap as well. They're only 6,456 coins on the GE right now. And if that's not enough for you, there's also an outfit called the Graceful outfit, I believe. Graceful outfit, I believe. Yes, that's it. Which also helps with run energy. Also helps restore it. Anyone who can complete Desert Shredder 2 and Carnival Standard Pots needs to stop playing. That was my next point. This is going to be pretty much the end game quest for now. If you are worried about run energy at that point in the game, then I want to see that account, because that's one hell of a fucking snowflake. Like, that's some settled level shit. Ring of Endurance, there you go, even that. So this is, like, people, again, just... Like, the people that are suggesting run energy prayers haven't even got to the point of having stamina potions yet. They're like, oh, these energy pots, 10 energy is fucking shit. I can't seem to get through Prince Ali Rescue with these boys. Fuck off. Skilling prayers, okay. Unless someone's hoping, like, to use this during, like, Monkey Madness. Skilling prayers. I like the idea of skilling prayers. The rewards green light poll made it pretty clear that there's an interest in prayers that touch on skilling. Well, we didn't see a lot of particularly distinct suggestions. The ones we did see focus pretty consistently on gathering skills. Yep. Which included some of your suggestions as well as some of our thoughts down below. So keep reading. There's much more we could say about some of the fantastic ideas you shared. I got an idea. It's a bit of a bold one. And I just thought of it like right now because I've only just recently finished Giant's Foundry. So this concept is new to me. But like, you know how you have this whole set on, the smithing outfit? Like that increases smithing by a game tick. If you had a certain prayer on that like you couldn't flick, like it has to be on for 4 game ticks to be able to start working, then like smithing, fire making, fletching, that's not like 1 tickable, cooking, making potions could all be just a tick faster. Could also reduce a tick out of that, something like that, you know? Just a thought. I just thought of it then. It's probably not too bad of a shout. Could speed up a few things. But that's just an idea that doesn't involve just gathering skills. Just thought of it then. Maybe it's bad. But that's why I like to read people's ideas and criticize them rather than make my own. And also the Jones fight, yeah, it was good. Let's have a look. Alright, okay. Alright, I'm ready. Okay. Okay. I'm ready to check the prayers out now. So then delete Sanfus. It's about conserving item slots, not because staminas are hard to get. It's about conserving item slots. I can't really imagine a situation where you would want to have prayer draining for run energy instead of run energy draining. I can't imagine that a situation, in my opinion, where that's where you would want that. Energy prayer should help in places you want to save the inventory ring slot. Would be nice. Would be really niche, but so are some of the normal prayers. Like where? Because you're not really, are you? You're not saving the slot. How are you saving an inventory slot? How fast is your prayer's going to drain as fast as your run energy? So you're going to go through prayer pots faster than you're going to go through stamina potions, because stamina potions slow your run energy. So it's not going to save a slot. Depends how much prayer points it costs. It would have to be a pretty slow fucking drain. And at what point are you going to start drinking fucking prayer potions? So it would have to be a slow fucking prayer drain. It would have to be as slow as like stamina potions are for it to be even considered worth it. Run energy prayer is useless and stupid. I don't think it'd be very smart. Not that late in the game. Absolutely not that late in the game. Anyways, alright, so I'll task it simple. Make a prayer book that doesn't outright overpower the prayers we all know and love. Bake in the common themes from hundreds of community suggestions. Make something that feels rewarding for skilling, focus, and combat-focused content. And deliver on the elements, high risk, high reward without making the new set of prayers inapproachable. Yes. I just got back, didn't hear if you spoke about that. No, I haven't, no. There's already a spell that uses prayer potions to restore run. It's almost never used except for Zermire. See, I didn't even know that existed. It uses prayer potions to restore run? Actually, no, I did know about that. Now I think about it, yeah. I forgot it existed. So, I guess that kind of works. It's a bit inconvenient, though, being on that spellbook. With that said, let's dive in. Alright, let's have a look, okay? Overprotection. Utility. Protect 2 items on death, but drains prayer by 25% when of damage taken while active. We saw that one somewhere, didn't we? I feel like I've seen that one somewhere. I've heard of this before. We saw a lot of people touching on protect item in general. You need to have protect item. If you don't have protect item, then it won't be used in the wilderness. It's that simple. You just won't take it to the wilderness because having a +1 is pretty important, especially for anti-PKing, which is what a lot of people are now doing since the new wildy bossing. So having 2 items is pretty good, and then you're kind of self-smiting. So this would be for the more hardcore PKs, for sure. Rejuvenation. While active, regenerate 1 hit point every 20 seconds. So that's twice as fast. 3 times as fast as rapid heal. Okay, this would conserve the functionality of rapid heal, as we're flicking it on and off could conserve boosted HP. Or prevent HP regeneration, but could you stack it? Can you stack this with the cape and the regen bracelet? That's what I want to know. Could you stack it? Because if you can stack it with 2 other items, that's a 1 HP every 5 seconds. How do I pray that teams? So I'm all for no protect item if that means better combat bonus. Yeah, that would be true. Yeah, I can imagine that being the case too, to be honest. Because then you could absolutely just fucking run through cunts, especially people that aren't PKing. I think my smart idea could be used, but tweaked. I'll have a look at your smart idea in a minute. Just put it in the chat. How about prayer that protect teams? Say 5% protection or attack for each player on team. Could make well-coordinated switches pretty good. I think ideas like that, the thing is, where would you use it? Other than raiding, and I guess next and no, I mean, it really depends. It sounds very situational, but 5% protection is not really a whole lot over 100%. In the wildy, how do you define a team in the wildy? Like clanmates? Dampen. Overhead. Reduces damage from the appropriate style by 90%. That's good. Slight overheads. You've come to know and love, but slightly less defensive. Yep. It's worth remembering that old school tends to prefer rounding numbers down, meaning it's possible to take 0 damage. Yep. Effectively, if you would have been hit between 1 and 9, you'll take 0. Yep, of course. If you would have been hit at 29, you'll take 2. Yeah, of course. Yep, sure. Absorb. Reduces damage from the appropriate style by 100%, but drains prayer points by 10% mitigated damage on top of typical prayer drain. Mitigate 70 damage, lose 7 prayer points, but take 0 damage. This prayer drain can round down to 0, meaning if you mitigate 9 damage, you'll lose 0 additional prayer points. Okay, that's pretty cool. That'd fucking hurt in somewhere like Cox. That's not too bad. Chip damage is absolute hell. Yeah, chip damage sucks. I think chip damage is okay if it's under 10. Chip damage should be okay if you can redemption it. That's where I draw the line. I think I could even go a step further to like 13 or something, purely just because of the gauntlet. I don't think it's that bad in the gauntlet. But like when Bubba is even on a 0 invocation TOA, Phoenix was getting hit for 25 through prayer on Bubba. That's ridiculous. That's a lot of damage through prayer. 100%. So I don't mind chip damage if it's not a chunk. How does dampen work with chip damage? Well then the chip damage would be 90% of that. So it's like going into, I think there's an invocation anyway. That's like you take an extra, or your prayers are 10% less effective. So that's literally the same concept here. So if you were to get hit for a 13 through prayer, you would take a 1 or whatever. Or it would reduce it by 90% instead of 100%. So your effect prayers would just be 10% less effective. Sorry, I said that poorly. If you were going to get hit for a 14, you'd get hit for a 13 instead, I believe. I don't think we need a new prayer drain. I think no. If you're getting hit for a 13, you'll get hit for a 14 instead. Sorry, I said that backwards. Yes. Is there going to be better than Protect from Melee at Bubba? No, it won't be better than Protect from Melee at Bubba. These will be worse than Protect from Melee at Bubba because these are essentially TOA invocations on top of protection prayers. So inside or outside, because even oh no, this one isn't so much, but like inside TOA, if you take damage, you lose prayer points. Instead of this, you're just losing prayer points regardless if you get hit, you know? Dampen, I think the only reason Dampen would suck, Dampen would be good if it comes with, I don't know, why would you have Dampen and Absorb though? I guess this one's to drain more prayer. It really depends. I don't know. Dampen would probably be better in Olm, to be honest. Hold on. Prayer drain points by 10% of mitigated damage on top of the prayer drain. Yeah, Dampen might be better, to be honest, in Olm, because you would take an extra, like his max hit would become like nearly 20 or something, which would be annoying. But maybe not, because the prayer drain wouldn't be too bad. Unless he's meant to be hitting like 45s constantly, you could start draining your prayer pretty badly. It could really depend in solo Olm. It could make or break it. Like in places like Tob, where you just keep taking fucking damage, prayer can be a bit of a crunch more than bruise. Doubt that'll include both. They might not include both, but I mean it's not too bad. It could be very situational. Kelly, good morning. 9% to let a little more damage in to save prayer. The other one to protect, but suck down pots. Yeah, see the idea, but I don't like having both. Yeah, I'd say it'd probably have to be one or the other, because I would say it would be this one. Absorb would probably win, to be honest, because you're not taking damage, right? And places like Cox and TOA, it doesn't matter because you just get resources anyway. So why would you bother? Will normal prayers do nothing against Bubba? Normal prayer books will be how they are now. They can make another smite prayer, but it smites through protect item, but every time you tick damage, it can be like spec and takes 25 prayer or something like that. They can make it another smite, but it smites through protect item. What does smiting through protect item mean? You mean like if you kill someone with the smite up, their protect item doesn't register? The pot sucking would be a better choice, yes. Well, no, because that would be too broken. You would just fuck anyone that's trying to protect the item. Like, no one would be safe, ever. Like, if you would just steamroll cunts. You can't smite through people's protect item. That would completely nullify... That would completely nullify it, like, going to the wilderness with a +1. You'd also risk your own protect item. Well, then you would just hunt PVMers, wouldn't you? That's all you would do. You just wouldn't fight PvP if in that case. Ancient Position is offensive, plus 20% attack. No one's gonna fucking use that. Ancient Strength, so people will just use that. Ancient Sight is ranged attack and strength. What the fuck is Rigor? Okay, so this is worse than Rigor. I always play Steamroll. Yeah, I bet you do, Steve Dance. Takes like 50 of your prayer to activate. I don't know. It sounds like it needs a bit of work, to be honest. Ancient Will, plus 20% magic attack, which I believe is just accuracy. Yes. Okay. Thanks for the stream. Can you play closing time? Can you play closing time? I can after I've done this if you want. Trinitas, offensive, 15% of magic attack, range attack strength, and 15% magic attack and strength, which is worse than Chivalry. Yep. It's basically Eagle Eye, Mystic Might, Incredible Reflexes, and Ultimate Strength all together. Okay. Interesting. Must be a low level pro. Ruinous Smite, overhead offensive, reduces your. I mean, look, do I need to read this fucking box? To be honest, almost on par with the higher level tiers. Almost on par. I feel like I haven't seen the rest of the prayers yet, but I feel like if these are going to be, if these suggestions are worse than current protection prayers, these need to be better than the current higher tier prayers. Otherwise, why would you? No worries, Ryan. Thank you. You sleep well too, man. Why would you have a worse protection prayer for a worse offensive prayer otherwise? But there might be more down the bottom. We'll keep going. Trinitas. This one might be a little out of left field, but we saw a few suggestions for something like this and thought it was worth exploring. Yeah, I guess so. Ruinous Smite. It reduces your opponent's and your own prayer points by 33% of damage dealt. That's more than Smite, because Smite's 25%, isn't it? Of your opponent's. Okay. How hard is it to smite someone? Strength, am I right? Yeah, I am. Why the fuck is everyone telling me the stream's over? Shut the fuck up. The voice chatters are being weird. Yeah, they are. Unless you got a big gang. Yeah, okay. Imagine both having it on and you both be out in 10 seconds. Oh yeah, for sure. You'd be smashing each other. Smiting people 1v1 nearly impossible unless they're stupid. Well, I saw someone get smited for their crystal legs the other day, so I don't know. Increasing your accuracy with all combat styles by 1% per 3% health missing. I heard of this one. We looked at this one, didn't we? You want a Brisk vs. Reward? Try this one. So what's that? 1% accuracy for 3% health missing. So if you're missing 98 health, and what's that, 3%? No, 1%, no, sorry. For 3% health missing. So that's an extra 32% accuracy. So the strategy would be then to go into Tecton, let him hit you, and if he doesn't hit you for 85, you reset instead of waiting for your hammers to hit now. Is that correct? That's pretty much the strategy now. So now basically all it's doing is allowing you to reset Tecton a little less consistently and a little earlier. If I had to put a number on it, I smart probably 1 in 50. Okay. You guys going to bed? Okay, I'll remove you all from the group call then. No worries, you guys don't need to be in there. Good night, guys. Good night. Good night. It's alright, the whole group call has been put to bed. It's alright, good night, guys. Good night. Sorry, I'm just disconnecting them from my Discord server because they're obviously going to bed. So yeah, shut the fuck up. All right. I think I like Gambit. I don't know. I'm a little bit. I don't want to feel like I'm too heavily against an idea like this because, on one hand, I know that this is really reaching to an audience where people want to like, people want to make Tecton easier. That is essentially the idea, or Corp easier, things like that, where their Warhammer's missing and they're just like, oh, Warhammer never hits. But I don't think this is too bad of a trade-off, to be honest. 1% for 3% missing is not too bad because, like, it's not really going to make a difference in Corp because you'll just get fucking one hit and it's an overhead. And for Tecton, I mean, you've got to have it on. Flick it on at the wrong time. Good luck tanking boss hits with no protection and a low HP. Yeah, but with Tecton, you can just avoid his attack, so I guess it doesn't matter too much. I don't know. I guess it's not too bad. You have to take a hat before you can start. It's like Darox, but it's only accuracy. Yeah. What's up, Griff, by the way? How you doing? Rebuke. Overhead offensive. Reflects 50% of damage taken, but increases damage taken by 25%. If a boss would hit you for 60 instead, it would deal 75. You reflect 11 that back to the boss. So you would go into Tecton, you would let him hit you with this prayer on while you're at 121 health. And then you would throw on this prayer and land your 2 hammers, miss them anyway, and reset. While venged. That's the play. Broken for safe spotting? Yeah, well, I guess that's why it's good. That's only accuracy, right? Warhammer is only good when it hits, which is never. Well, this prayer is meant to kind of help fix that that problem. Decimate. Okay, here we go. Now we're cooking with gas. All right. What do we got? Plus 20% attack and plus 30% strength. Decimate, annihilate, and vaporize. Or 4% magic damage. I like that, yes. All pack more of a punch than their other counterparts, yep. But offer none of the defensive bonuses to compensate, yep. Top of the reduced durability offered by the rest of the Ruinous powers, yep. Prayers of this caliber are perfect candidates for post-quest boss drops, similar to the prayer scrolls you can obtain from the Chambers of Xeric. I like it, I like it. I think that's good. Having 0 defensive bonus... And with protection prayers that are shit, well, shitter than the current ones, I think that's not a bad trade-off because that's the same accuracy bonus, but you get 7% increased strength on range and melee, and then you get 4% damage bonus on mage. That's not too bad. Would that make Cox Scrolls worthless? No. No. The only thing that would make Cox Scrolls worthless is if this prayer book is at the point where there's no point in having the original prayer book. While the original prayer book is useful, they will always have value, always. So it will really depend on how you're going to measure it. Like you would take this prayer book to Fasani's Nightmare, 100%. But you would take the other prayer book to TOA. I don't think that 4%... Oh, maybe you wouldn't to TOA. I don't know. Maybe. It's kind of hard to tell. It depends on if they're going to have both of these prayers or not. And the same with Cox. You wouldn't know. If it's going to have Gambit, then you might take it to challenge modes. You might have one person at least with this on challenge modes. In a solo, I probably wouldn't because Olm will just fucking rip your hole and kick your dick in. Vanguards will still fuck you. You won't be able to redemption, so Vespula will be a bit annoying. So it really depends. You probably wouldn't take this to Cox. You can't flick these two. Is that for all of these? You can't flick them? And what does not flicking them mean exactly? How does that measure it? They have to be on for a game tick before they can work? If you can't flick them, then there's not a whole lot of flicking done in raids, to be honest. Like, at a pretty casual level. Party Rigor are better than these in some situations. I mean, I'd rather take the normal spellbook to Cox purely because, like, Augury also has that defensive bonus, which does help in, like, CM, what's it called? CM Matador room. Just fuck that room. Vindication. Utility in combat. When reduced below 10% of your maximum HP. Below 10% of your max HP. Okay. Without taking lethal damage. Vindication will hit 50% of your prayer level. Draining 100% of your remaining prayer points. Upon activation, grant 10% bonus damage on your next attack. Okay, so that's Vespula sorted. Like, that's... That's... Okay, that's Cog sorted. Vespula done. Right? What is Redemption currently heals yourself by 25% of your prayer level, right? I believe. Assuming your HP goes high enough, it only needs to go over 8. Then you're good. You just need to be healed for 9 and you're sweet. You just need to be healed for 9, and this is going to grant bonus damage to your next attack. That's just going to send the Shadow and the T-Bow to like 100 damage on the portal. Got to spin the Jet Bastard Jaw. Let's go, Kelly. Fuck yeah. Don't they specifically talk about flicking in Gambit's description? I think the anti-flicking stuff is a Reddit speculation. Gambit. Flick it on at the... No, it's just about flicking it on at the wrong time. Like, good luck flicking it on when you're getting hit, because then you'll get fucked. It's like offering... this offering is basically just everything that the standard spellbook does, but costs a little more prayer, while giving you crazy DPS. See, I think prayer drain like this is going to make prayer less manageable inside places like Ulm, to be honest. Good night, Beans. GNSD. Metabolize. Eating delay is reduced by 0.6 seconds while active. That's pretty fucking good, man. Turn this bad boy into engorge yourself when disabled. Your action delay would be reset to your weapon's attack speed or left unchanged. Whichever value is greater to prevent you from quickly flicking this on to eat food, then turn it back off again. Yeah, that'd be nice in, like, the gauntlet. For sure. Wrath. Combat. While active, deal damage equal to 25% of your prayer level in a 5x5 radius around you on death. Is that not the same as Retribution, just bigger? They should give numbers on Retribution and stuff, because I hate fucking working that shit out. That's how I say Sepulchre as well. Sepulchre. Oh, she says Sepulchre. Oh, okay. No one would ever die in PvP. What, with Metabolized? Oh, you'd be fucking surprised, dude. Ruinous Grace. While active, drain prayer points instead of run energy. Drain rate is modified by prayer bonus and does not take into account effects like stamina. Okay, but how this... So this is what, like I was talking about at the start. This really depends on how it's measured, because it needs to be better than the stamina drain. Otherwise, you're going to drink prayer pots faster than you're going to drink stamina potions. And where the fuck would you use this? Like, Blast Furnace? But you're wearing full Graceful, so you're not going to have that big of a prayer bonus. Retribution is 25% but similar. Okay, cool. Conservation. While active, you have a chance to prevent a resource from depleting while harvested. That's pretty good for mining, because that'll stack on top of whatever mining already fucking does. ZMI. Do you not use Graceful at ZMI? Oh, back? No worries. I'm so hungry I could eat the front wheel off a menstrual cycle. Gotcha, dude. You go get something to eat. Time to do farm runs and proselyte. Pretty much. While active, increases success chance while gathering. What's this? Skilling? This one offers buff to activities like hunter, woodcutting, fishing, and mining. Similar to visible boost you might find in some skill guilds. What about thieving? That's gathering. Gathering people's shit out of their fucking pockets. More of an irons who don't have stamp pots. If you're an Iron Man and you don't have stamina potions, but you're doing Desert Treasure 2, you're like, it's fucking, what's his name? Settled playing. Like that's big snowflake energy. How can you be doing Desert Treasure 2 and not have fucking stamina potions? Farming, yeah, so you run around, so that way you don't run out of run energy for farming, because apparently this cunt runs out of run energy. Anyone that can do Desert Treasure 2 probably has stance, yes. Ancient Abundance. While active, increases success chance while gathering. Okay, cool. But does that include thieving? Because I think thieving is a gathering skill, right? You meant for abundance? Increases success chance while gathering? Yeah, actually, you could do that too, right? So, like, that means more herbs. Would be good mining iron. Yeah, be amazing mining iron. Ancient Offering, skilling. While active, you have a 75% chance to destroy a resource when obtaining it, but drains 1 additional prayer point whenever a resource is destroyed. You have a 75% chance to destroy a resource when obtaining it. But, okay, so like if you're fishing, you lose the fish and a prayer point. 75% chance. So, where I sit with a prayer like this, I like the idea at first, but then I'm like, where would you use this effectively? The mining guild, maybe? The Motherlode mine wouldn't count. The woodcutting guild, maybe, if you don't want to keep the logs. I don't think you'd use it at barbarian fishing. AFK Redwoods, if you weren't going to keep the logs, yeah. I'd see. I don't think you'd use this at barbarian fishing. Because it takes you 2 seconds to drop an inventory, right? But it depends. If you're going to do barbarian fishing for like 20 minutes, sure. If you're going to do barbarian fishing for 3 weeks, you're going to have to bank every so often. Is it that much of a problem to just drop your inventory? Because then you've got to have prayer pots in your inventory, which means you're filling up your inventory less fish at a time, which means you're dropping more often, which means you're technically slowing your XP rate. And then eventually you're going through prayer pots, you're going to have to go to the bank to get more prayer pots after a certain amount, which means, okay, now I'm banking during my bard fishing when I may as well just AFK and just drop the inventory and keep going. Because it doesn't take that long to fucking drop your inventory. Sounds kind of useless at bard fishing. How many prayer pots is enough? If you take 20 prayer pots, you don't have to bank for ages, but you're also dropping fish every 8 fish. Or you do 4 prayer pots, then you're banking every hour maybe. Depends on the drain. I don't see it being too intense. It's 1 drain per fish, which is 75% chance. Which means you're probably losing, let's say you're losing maybe 20 prayer points per inventory. You're drinking a prayer pot every 4 inventories, which means if you take 4 pots, every 16, let's say every 20 inventories roughly, you're going to have to bank for more prayer pots. The drain on top of that. I don't know if it'll drain on top of that, because that'll make it even worse. 1 additional prayer point. Okay, yeah, so the drain on top of that, that makes it even worse, to be honest. Without any drain on top of that, you're looking at banking. You're going through a prayer pot every 4 fucking inventories, basically. You know? What about Hunter? What would you use at Hunter? Current Brian are the only thing I can think they'd be used for. You go buy your player in house every time you bank, rechargeable. Yeah, I guess so, but then that's kind of a waste because you do Current Brian for the food, not to drop it, right? So I don't know if you'd use it there. It probably shouldn't have any drain, to be honest. It shouldn't have any drain unless you get the item, I think. Love Observe where you can have it active for 2 hours of prayer gear. Yeah. But then you see, if you did that, then it'd be totally fine because you would never fucking lose it. But then you don't have your fishing outfit, which means you're losing XP again, which is more XP waste. So I don't think it'd be worth using it somewhere like bar fishing. A fish carries the for AFK, not for food. 5-minute AFK at a time. Oh, okay. Well, I'd do it for food, but I'm an Iron Man, so. Then your skilling outfit goes in the bin for prayer. Yeah, having half an inventent of prayers, 75% reduction, still makes it 2 times less clicking. Yeah, less clicking, I guess, but I don't know. I think it would just depend on who's doing it, right? Be great for ticking, as you don't need to waste a click dropping and cutting. Yeah. I guess it depends on who's going to use it. Hardcore AFKers might. But if I was going to go to barb fishing to go from like 85 to 91, I probably wouldn't. I'm barb fishing right now and have plus 28 prayer bonus with full outfit on, so it's not too bad. Okay. Fair enough. Barb fishing, yeah, no, yeah. I think barb fishing wouldn't be the prime spot for this. That's my thought process. Because you're sacrificing an inventory slot for a prayer pot. And the more prayer pots you have, the less fish you're getting. And the more time you're spending dropping again and again and again. Barb fishing in 2023 there? Yeah, I know. Get a fucking temporals. It is good for the working class, but AFKs at work. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's true. Okay, those are some interesting prayers. I need to go through them again very quickly just to remember what everything is and give my thoughts on them. Final summary on them all. Let's say that all of these are in the game for the beta. Okay, none of them are scrapped. All of them are put into the beta. Okay, so let's just pretend this is the prayer book. That will make it more simple to give my thoughts on it. Okay, TLDR, it's all good, damn and bad. Okay, overprotection. That seems like, combined with, these prayers here. Can be utilized pretty well in the wilderness. For PKers more than anti-PKers and PVMers. PVMers wouldn't use this. Absolutely not. But if you were hunting, if you were PKing, I don't know if you'd use it PvP. But if you were PKing, this would be pretty good. Someone said you just got a CC just got his 10th T-bow in 2.1 KC. Oh, I'd ban them. Just kick them from your CC. Rejuvenation. While active, regenerate 1 hit point per 20 seconds. I mean, that's purely... You have to have a prayer like that. That's totally fine. If it stacks with the cape and the regen bracelet, that's 1 hit point every 5 seconds. I'm all for it. I think that's awesome. How'd it work with swapping prayers? Cape swap 5 times a day? Don't know. Probably an altar in the middle of the desert you got to run to until they put one in your player own house. Dampen. I think dampen having 90% reduced instead of 100% reduced damage. I think this is a good balance for the buff that these spells have over Piety, Rigor, and Augury, because this isn't a ridiculous damage buff. It's the same accuracy. It's only 7% strength and 4% magic damage. So it's not like if you went to the duel arena and 1v1, this setup, these prayers would win maybe like 7 out of 10 times, you know? So I think the 10%, taking 10% damage free prayer is a decent trade-off for that. 90% protection of everything would take Jad way different, make Jad way different, wouldn't it? It means Jad would, it's not at the same time. No, it's either, it's not all 3 prayers 90%. It's melee, range, or mage. Correct? Yeah, just like overhead, you've come to know and love, yeah. So it's not all 3 being protected at once. The more I read suggestions, the less necessary a new prayer book sounds. I know, right? I think I think it could work with that's a decent price to trade off. So Jad will hit you through prayer, but you'll get hit for 7 or something. No, you'll get hit for 9 max. Absorb. So this is the same thing, except you take 0 damage, but whatever you would have been hit for, you take 10% of that as a prayer drain. And I think that's I think literally these two are just situational prayers. You would use this where prayer isn't that important. Like, shit. I don't know, if you wanted to preserve prayer in some places, I can't even think of a spot at the moment. I'm just trying to think. I mean, you could probably use this in Tob more than this, purely because, like, at the end of the day, prayer drain can be a bit fucking annoying because you just take consistent damage. Like, you're taking consistent... It's reduced damage, but you take the full damage and it's drained down. So, like, if Verzik is hitting at 5 ticks and she's hitting back-to-back 30s, you're just losing prayer every 5 ticks. 3 extra prayer points, 3 extra prayer points, 3 extra prayer points, you know? Like, you can get fucked in that room if you're not praying. Same for Olm. Like, CM Olm, it's got a max hit for, like, 47 or something. You're just eventually going to start taking an extra 4 prayer points, extra 4 prayer points. Whereas here, you can just up the damage a little bit, where you know you've got plenty of brews, and you just run around and sang stuff anyway. Like, Nightmare, I would rather use this in Fasani's Nightmare than use this, because that cunt can hit up to 90. Which means you're losing an extra 9 prayer points every time he attacks you, even though you pray correctly. So you'd rather take just the 10% damage and make it like a normal Nightmare fight, wouldn't you? And just heal off of the Blood Fury and the Sang stuff. Because that would just, like, this would be fucking ridiculous in the Nightmare, in Persona Nightmare. You'll just run out of fucking prayer. New prayer book is as seen on TV Gadget, fixing problems that don't exist. I think it's fixing problems that are like, not that their problems don't exist. I think it's just fixing problems that people are too lazy to adjust their playstyle for a lot of the time. But think about how annoying chip damage is in TOA. No one uses quiet prayers because of how terrible it is. Okay, but think about how annoying chip damage isn't in somewhere like the Corrupted Gauntlet against the Hunlith. You know? Like, if you have tier 2 armor, the max hit is 10. And that's not a problem. Everyone uses deadly prayers, which is 20% prayer drain and would be 10%. It's only 20% prayer drain if you take damage. Not 20% prayer drain through prayer. That's the difference between this and the invocation in TOA. Is this one, you take the prayer drain no matter what. If you're praying correctly, you still lose prayer. In TOA, it's only if you take damage, then you lose prayer. So that's the difference. So if you use this prayer in TOA and Bubba hits you, and you take the usual 13, but he would have hit a 45, you're losing an extra 4 prayer points, plus the 13 from the plus whatever you lose from the 13 from the invocation. So you're doubling, even tripling your prayer drain on here. And on this one, you're probably taking the exact same prayer drain if you use Dampen in Bubba Room. Because, like, if he was going to hit you for a 13, you'll probably get hit for a 14 instead. Or maybe a 17, depending on how it's calculated. So the prayer drain is still the same, as opposed to this, where you're going to take a lot more prayer drain. Gauntlet has a specific mechanic based around chip damage, which is the armor you prep for. Yes. Yes. I'm not trying to justify chip damage. I don't like the chip damage in Bubba. The chip damage in Olm can be fucking annoying. But the chip damage in Wardens from Zebak isn't that bad, you know? Chip damage from the bugs in Kefri isn't that bad. Arca's melee is fucking annoying for chip damage. I would like a prayer that reduces damage based on your total defense bonus to make tank gear actually useful instead of damage escape. That'd be pretty good. You like chip damage? If I'm getting, I'm not gonna fucking get the pitchforks out for it. So I think Dampen has a lot more uses than people might realize over Absorb. It, like, again, for Silent Nightmare, and honestly, even Nex. You take a lot of damage in Nex. All you're gonna do is go through a lot more prayer too. Also rounds down to 0 if it's a 9 hit. But I don't think if it'd be bad, could be wrong. Yeah, if it's a 9 hit, but what you gotta remember, Born, is that this isn't considering the reduced prayer damage hit. This is you will take 0 damage, but if the roll before prayer was a 60 from Bubba, you're gonna lose damage based on that. It's not prayer reduced roll, so you're going to lose 6 prayer points. Whereas if you just had this and the roll is going to be 60, and then using a normal prayer, it would drop it to, like, I don't know what the normal reduction is, but now it's only going to be 10% more. So you might only take 2 extra damage as you would from the standard prayer book. You know what I'm saying? So your prayer drain in TOA will ultimately be less if you use Dampen, and you will start losing more prayer if you use Absorb. So current shit damage like that is going to be worse with Absorb. Absorb will be good on shit that hits low. To be honest, Absorb will be almost fucking useless, to be honest. The more I think about Absorb, the more shit it is. Just because it's just a lot of prayer upkeep. And even though you're not taking damage, it's considering, like, how fast is your prayer drain already? You're taking no damage, but now you're just taking extra prayer damage. So I don't know. It seems like Dampen might actually be better the more I think about it. I know chip damage is shit and annoying, but that's the trade-off. Chip damage is the trade-off for better damage output. That is what you've got to think about. You're trading off chip damage so that you can get 7% extra strength. That could be quite a lot on your Dragon Hunter Lance. That's like an extra 4 or 5 max hits. Magic damage. If you have the shadow, you know you're going to be using that prayer. I assume Dampen has lower prayer drain than normal protection prayers. I would assume they probably have the same. Only use case for Absorb as if you're out of food, but not prayer pots. Yeah, pretty much. Gothic Stole going to be new best of slot necklace. Yeah, pretty much. So I think Absorb is actually worse and worse the more I think about it. But you're also welcome to counter my argument if you believe. Look, I'm always open to other opinions, even if I disagree. I'm always open to hear them. But I think, yeah, the more I think about it, Absorb is the poo-poo one there. Dragon Bone Necklace has a new use. Dragon Bone Necklace is fucking amazing. You have no idea. That shit is wrapped around my neck so tight I could hang myself from a tree and die. I love that fucking... That necklace. It's amazing. I assumed it was going to work like TOA, but no. No. Nah, you're getting hit through prayer. You're still taking it. My counter? No, you. Fuck. Shit. Shit! These are all low-level garbage prayers that we're not going to use because we're gamers. Reduces your... I mean, these are fine for, like, pures and whichever... Like, whichever fucking useless account build wants to come through and use them, you know? But, not for us. Reduces your opponents and your own prayers by 33% on damage dealt. This is an overhead smite that's deadlier than the current smite, but also fucks you. This is for the biggest of dick PKs. But it's also... I mean, it might make a difference in the Phantom Muscle. Probably not, because you can 2-hit it anyway, so it's not going to up that much damage. But if any more mechanics that come in requiring smite, this could be pretty good. But yeah, this is just for big dick PKing. Like all the this is for long dicks. They should rework Absorb to work like Deadly Prayers would actually be useful. If they rework Absorb to work like Deadly Prayers, you're probably going to kill most of PVM in the game. You're not going to kill it, but you're going to change the meta ridiculously. Like, you just would not really take food into, like, Tob at all. You would just pray the whole way through. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to think. How does it work again now? Hold on. Deadly Prayers. If you take damage, it reduces... Any health damage you take reduces your prayer drain. Wait, no, what does it do again? It's just 20% prayer drain of damage taken. Then what the fuck is the point in it? I'm having a brain fart. I haven't done TOA in that long. Almost like Soul Split. You never got to play with those prayers. No, sorry, I got to play with Soul Split. Yeah, it's the exact same. Sorry, I'm an idiot. Yeah, I'm just like, nah, should be fine. Sorry, I completely forgot how it fucking works. My bad. Sorry. No, you're right. Yes, it's just for invo points. That's what it really was, wasn't it? That's what I thought. Soul Split is smart that heals you as well. Yeah. No, the invocation at TOA though, I'm pretty sure it was like, because it used to be 10% damage free prayer or 25% damage free prayer, and no one used the 25%, so they got rid of that and added that invocation, which is just purely for points because everyone just prays anyway. So if they brought that into the prayer book, I think that would be too strong, because most of the places like it would be. It pretty much won't matter in a lot of places. Like, you may as well just... I'm doing OSRS on the side, cunt. Shut up. I think you would just use that prayer and then just go about using these with almost no trade-off. No risk, right? It doesn't even make sense if it didn't mitigate damage. Yeah. I just feel like that might be too strong for these prayers. Maybe. I don't know. But these prayers aren't ridiculous, so I don't know. I need to think about that because like... You've confused me now. You've completely thrown a spanner in the works of my thinking. Shit. Let's ignore that, alright? I think a successful damage roll hitting your prayer points is as a percentage rather than your health makes sense. Yeah, that's what this does, right? Hit your prayer points instead of your health. That's what this is. And but the damage roll isn't reduced by your prayer at all. You just don't take the damage. Sorry guys, my bad. Gambit. Increases your accuracy with all combat styles by 1% for 3% health missing. To me, this is a Corp and Tecton Copium prayer. Not even Corp, to be honest, because if you're going into Corp with like 50 health, you're probably going to Lumbridge not long after you enter the room. Unless you're Bodhi and you tank like 8 hits in a row and Void before you eventually do die. How much prayer level you need for Ruinous powers? Fuck, you ask some questions we don't know, man. Just expect like 70 plus for all of them. Expect like to go to the 85 plus to get the last ones. This is an overhead as well. So this is more of like a Tecton coping prayer, in my opinion. This would be funny for Dark bombing. Yeah, it'd be good because my Darok never hits in LMS. So, I mean, on one hand, I don't want this Prey because I feel like this problem can be fixed if they just add a better Warhammer. Like an upgrade to the Dragon Warhammer, or just like the Statius Hammer or whatever. Bang, Voidwaker Corp is already 10 kills per hour solo. There you go, so... You don't even need this anymore. It's really just a Tecton Copium Prayer. I don't know what you want me to say. I would be fine if this wasn't in the game. I think this is unnecessary. This is just a Copium Prayer. Deal more damage, but take chip damage. On this Prayer book, pretty much, yeah. Essentially. Reflects 50% of damage, but increases damage taken by 25%. I feel like this is just another Venge Bomb situation, which is mostly going to be used in PvP. You might use it in places like, I mean, Cowfight Queen if you've got some balls. Maybe Tecton to start off a CM. But outside of that, like, this would be used by a niche number of players that won't really... Like, a lot of players, I bet, didn't even use Smite until the Phantom Muspar came out. They didn't use it, like, properly. This would be one of those things where it's kind of like if you're going for a certain speed run or you're going for a certain type of kill or you're PvPing with Venge. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't use this because it's an offensive overhead. So I feel like for the general public of PvMing, you probably wouldn't use this. Gambit would be PvP too, but it's an overhead. Why would you use this over Smite or Protection Prayer? You'd probably flick it on for like a Darok maybe, Darok Bombing, but otherwise like the Voidwaker, if you have a Voidwaker, this becomes useless because you just hit anyway, you know? It would depend. Suit punishing, 15% reflect, yeah, 15% isn't a whole lot. It could be used in PvP in a fair few places, but I feel like like if someone's using a Ballista, their max is like 50. So how close are you willing to risk it to not miss a tick that you're going to try for that extra accuracy? Because you're only missing 40% health if you don't want to get one hit. Voidwaker max hits like 70 if they're wearing Torva, which PvPers do. AGS, probably not worth using for the most part in PvP, to be honest, as an overhead. Risk versus reward, I personally wouldn't, but some people probably would find a use. I think you're too likely to get fucking smacked out. Decimate. These prayers are all good. I think they're well balanced for the prayer drain of both absorb and dampen, the way that they work. Good for start of Zora. What is? Rebuke. I mean, I use Venge anyway, I guess so, but yeah, could be good in Zora, but then you're just going to go through Zora taking damage because you can't pray properly. You're either going to lose a shitload of prayer because he's going to be hitting constantly 35, 42, even though you're taking 0 damage. He's constantly draining your prayer by 4 points every hit. Or you're taking damage through prayer anyway because fuck you. So, trade off at Zora, probably better to just use the standard spellbook, in my opinion. Because you'll probably get more effective kills per hour because you just won't be wasting resources on unnecessary damage or unnecessary prayer drain. Vindication, reduced below 10% of your max health. It's basically Redemption, but it's meant to heal you less than Redemption. But gives you 10% bonus damage on your next attack. So that makes Vestibula easier. But you could still get clapped up by Vestibula if you're too quick. You might have to wait a tick to make sure you don't get fucking smacked. The eating delay is kind of cool, but I don't know exactly where you'd use it outside of like... I mean, I'd probably use that in the Gauntlet. Shit. I don't really know too many other places where I would use it. Gauntlet Crimes, yeah, pretty much. Tell you what, Gambit would be good in the Gauntlet. Be fucking good in the Gauntlet. I camp fucking 11 HP all the time. LMS? I don't know if I want this pro book in LMS, to be honest. Curious how this would work in Gauntlet. Because eating food slows you down in the Gauntlet. I know it sounds kind of geeky, but it can be really fucking annoying eating food. So if you have this on, you can just if you have to eat food, if you eat 4 fish, for every 4 fish you eat in the Gauntlet, you can get 1 extra auto attack in, which is really just, I guess, a speedrunning matter. It can make or break a speedrun. sometimes I just get fucking annoyed because I'm running at 8 and I try to attack and my guy's like, huh? Instead of doing anything because I just ate. So I would use it in the Gauntlet. And Gambit would be good in Gauntlet too, to be honest, yes. Remember Juice Blood, 10% in maximum help, we've already read that, sorry. Wrath! I'd never use Retribution anyway unless I'm trolling, so that's useless again. About to start to try to Gauntlet Guide for the Bofa and have no clue how the new book would do there. I don't know if I'd use it, but it's definitely a choice. While active, drain prayer points instead of run energy. Ruinous Grace. Yeah, this prayer is completely fucking brain dead and useless, and like Anubis said, there's a spell that converts your run energy to your prayer to run energy if you're desperate. If you're at this point in the game where you're doing this quest, you likely have stamina potions. And I don't find myself ever having a problem with run energy unless I'm doing like a tree run and I haven't made the trip to my house yet to drink from the pool, which is just bad management on my part. Otherwise, I never really find myself drinking staminas or needing run energy in most content, other than something like Blast Furnace, but you're not really going to get too much forgiveness out of it here anyway. I don't think. So I can't understand where this prayer would feel like a necessity, to be honest. Because if you're having this much trouble with run energy, you can just teleport to your locations. There's teleports everywhere in the game, and I know what you're going to say, but hear me out. If you're doing this quest, it's likely that you've got the magic level to teleport to pretty much fucking anywhere in the game. Because I don't imagine this is going to be easy with sub 70 magic. Feels like they think there's too many prayer pots in the game and we need to sync. If they need to sync, they just buy them off the fucking Grand Exchange with the Grand Exchange tax, to be honest. Or they could stop adding fucking 8 Renar seed drops to new bosses. That'd be good. Watch them do it with this quest. Gonna be good for early game irons. Yeah, is that what it says? I hope not. Have you ever gotten halfway through the underground pass while realizing that you forgot your stamina potions? I just had to double check something before I go balls deep on this prayer. But it's okay, Jagex did the right thing. Because I was going to say, I swear to God, if you need to do Underground Pass or Desert Treasure, yeah. I don't know what sort of argument this is, because if you're doing Desert Treasure 2 and you haven't done Underground Pass, you know, you're in for a fucking treat when you find out what the elves are hiding from you. It's good content. Just build your max account combat and then go to Regicide within 80 days played. Yeah, easy. Let's do it. I love hanging out in the Underground Pass. What do you mean? Well, to be honest, anytime you're going back to the Underground Pass once you've done the quests, if Suit gets you on Gilnal Games and start running through the fucking bulwarks, you know? That's really it. There's no clue scrolls down there. There's no combat tasks down there. What are you going in there for? Maybe for quest speedrunners? Oh, Kelly. The quest speedrunners. My bad. Yes. The very popular 13 people currently online quest speedrunning. You got it. Maybe for escaping PKs? Yeah, no, because getting smited isn't a fucking problem. Yeah, no. Who could forget the quest speedrunners? I know, right? Gotta go fast. Conservation and skilling. By the way, do quest speedrunners get access to this prayer book when the Desert Treasure 2 isn't part of the menu? Maybe? Conservation skilling. While active, you have a chance to prevent a resource from depleting and harvested. I mean, sure. Like, that's basically just like you already have that for mining, so just make mining really good. And I don't know, like, I don't really find it that difficult to go to another rock. There's plenty of amethyst in the amethyst mine. It's good. It's cool. But, like, they're adding this prayer just because, oh, now we've got skilling prayers. To be honest. Like, this book would be just the same with or without that. Same for this abundance one. What is it? Increases the success chance while gathering. Like, I mean, it might increase your XP per hour a little bit, but like the prayer book will be fun without this. And then Ancient Offering again, I feel like is a little bit more niche, but I don't know. I feel like the skilling prayers are really hard to do, to be honest. But at the same time, it might be worth looking at like relics from previous leagues, like have a 75% chance to automatically smelt a bar when you mine it. That way you can do it without the Infernal Pickaxe, or have a 75% chance to mine, or a 15% chance to mine 2 ores at the same time. I say 15% chance because it'd be pretty broken for Rune or Amethyst, but like, why the fuck would you use it on coal? 15% is just a random number as well, or 15% chance to get 2 magic logs at the same time, 2 fish at the same time, things like that. Increasing the yield rather than increasing the chance of a yield seems a bit more appealing to me, but then that could really, you know, bots will eventually get a hold of it as well, and shit, I don't know. Like, the skilling prayers could go in the normal spellbook, and I wouldn't bat a fucking eye at the end of the day. If they just added them as level 99 prayers and made it that you had to pay 200 mil to an NPC to unlock them. That way bots can't use them, and neither can the fuckwits that don't want a max prayer like me. Overall, concept. I want to look at them in the beta. I want to test them out in the beta and get a real feel on what I can use them at. Because I think some of these prayers are that this Gambit prayer is full copium. I'm sick of fucking having to use Zamorak Bruise for CMs on Tecton and missing. To be honest, this could be replaced with an upgrade to the Dragon War hammer or a new better hammer overall, which should be really difficult to obtain and maybe untradeable. I hope untradeable. Just to keep that niche and hardcore aspect about a certain boss that it might be able to be achieved from. Overprotection is good, rejuvenation good, dampen and absorb situationally good, dampen better than absorb in my personal opinion. These are good for people with retard account builds. Can't say that word, fuck you. Smite for the big dick PKs, Gambit, Copium, Rebuke, yeah. Decimate, Annihilate, Vaporize are decent because I think this dampen is a decent trade-off for those prayers. Vindication. If you didn't have Vindication, you couldn't do Cox on this prayer book. Challenge mage at least. Metabolize. Cool. No problems with that. Wrath, useless on the standard spellbook, useless on this spellbook. Ruinous Grace, like anyone who suggests this or supports this is a dickhead. Skilling prayers, they're just still... Even if they weren't there, my opinion would be the same. I rate this so far about 6, maybe 7 out of 10. I reckon 6 out of 10. But I want to try it out for myself. So, new hammer from a boss that comes in with the Red Dwarf questline conclusion, in my opinion. That'd be cool, yeah. Make full Inquisitors, guaranteed Dragon Hammer hit, give it some purpose? No. No, that's silly. No. Guaranteed hit, but 100% spec. How about that? I would assume the stronger offensive ones are going to be in the high 80s, low 90s. Yes, they'll be higher than Piety for sure. That's my take on this, these prayers for now. When the poll comes out, we'll go through it again. But that is the Ruinous prayers wrapped up. Yeah, that's about it for that segment at least. Anyway, this is the easiest room in the raid. It's quite simple. You got a big boy. Look at him. God damn. Fuck me. Look at that boy. It's huge. You got a big boy.